Okay, you're a rap star, actor, and I can say entrepreneur. I mean, you're
Yes.
starting your own company. Okay. How old are you?
Director, too.
Director?
Yeah, videos. But
You are? You do some of that?
Yes. Yeah.
Huh. How old are you now?
Oh, well, I'm still learning, so we're all babies.
What do you have there?
You have a 7-year-old?
Well, no, that's my stepson,
Oh, okay.
but he's mine. I've been taking care of
Excuse me, my son bought some of your stuff.
It's very positive.
It had some bad words in it.
Oh, that doesn't mean it's not positive. If you get your hand burnt on the stove, it's a bad experience, but it's very positive because you'll never do it again. And that's what my music, it shows a mirror. You know, like he just showed me my mirror of myself. My hair was messed up. If I show you that mirror enough time, pretty soon I get my hair together. So that's exactly what I'm doing, showing you that mirror till you get your hair together.
Okay, we're rolling. Okay, Cube, you know there's a lot of controversy. You got the Newsweek magazine with some of the legal difficulty that some of the rap stars have recently gotten into. I've been trying to do this story for 3 months on ABC, and it wasn't until it starts hitting that they're interested in doing it. What do you think about the controversy that is now surrounding the music and what appears to be a new backlash against it?
Well, you know, we've always had opposition because we are distributing information, and the big distributors of information don't like when you distribute uncut information, especially to their children.
What do you mean by uncut?
Uncut, meaning without going through the censor, you know, that this interview might go through, or without being on the editing board, you know, without white people making the decisions on what's being heard, you know, and it's nothing but the truth. And I have to remind America that all of these incidents with the rappers are just allegations. No one's been convicted yet. So, you know, they was just ready with their guns, you know. As soon as an opening came in, all the critics just ran in that opening, and no convictions are made on any of these people, you know, just allegations.
But you know the correlation that people are saying. They're saying that, okay, they sing about this stuff. They sing this gangster rap. They must be gangsters. Right?
Well, I don't think Al Pacino's a gangster. He does Scarface, and, you know, so, you know, why me? You take a person like, you know, I just don't like the hypocrisy. You know, you take a person like what they call Storm and Norman Schwarzkopf. He's responsible for way more deaths than Snoop Doggy Dogg is alleged to be responsible for, but he's a hero. So when is killing right, you know? And when do we look at these people as heroes? You know, these are our heroes in the street because they're brothers who are telling us the real deal when no one won't. The news media has their 7-minute skit on what's the real deal, and the rappers give you a whole hour on what's the real deal. And theirs are way more authentic than the ABC or any other networks put together.
Is it authentic about all of Black America or just a segment of Black America? I mean, my concern is that white kids that are buying this stuff, a lot of the music reinforces negative stereotypes, that blacks are violent, that they disrespect women, that they kill each other, that they use bad language, and that's supposed to be the black reality.
Well,
does that concern you?
That's just a result that we don't have a lot of media outlets, because the white community is way more violent than the black community on a bigger level. You talk on black violence, look at Bosnia-Herzegovina. You know, it's not a black face nowhere in there except in the UN. But and white people disrespect their women on a bigger level than black people ever could do. It's a white man that says, well, a woman only makes 71 cents when I make $1. You know, that's nothing black got to do with that right there. So the kids today are really not concerned on how on really white people endorsing who we are. We're not concerned about that in '93, and I think that we really need to refocus as a community and could care less who looks bad upon us, because it doesn't make a difference. White people have really never helped our situation. Matter of fact, they was founders in putting us in this situation, so their endorsement shouldn't matter in 1993.
So you don't care what they think?
Not at all.
What do you think the appeal of the music is to the 70% of the market that is white that buys it?
The appeal is the reality of it. Everybody likes the truth. The truth is good for your brain. And in a society that feeds you so many lies, which doesn't help you grow as an individual at all, this is uncut, raw truth. Why do people watch Cops? Because they can see the truth. They don't want to see reenactments no more when this is showing you the real deal. And that's what the rappers are providing for the people, the real deal. And matter of fact, some of the white kids are sick of their fathers telling them about the community. They want to hear what's the problems themselves, because they're problems. It's not like, like we're putting a bad front in for the community. The community is going to all hell because poverty and frustration does not mix. And when you have that time bomb, it blows up like it did in April of 1992. So, the kids are starting to say, look, Pops, all that stuff you were saying, put that aside. We're becoming their heroes. And that's really why the media is in a frenzy, because the white kids are taking Bon Jovi and all these clowns off their wall, putting up Ice Cube and Public Enemy, and then they're starting to listen to what we have to say, because it's not all on the gangster tip. A lot of it is really political, and that's where the problem stems.
Okay, I'm sinking it in. It's I'm listening. What about the issue of women? Women are denigrated, and we listen to that call-in show. A lot of women are really upset, and I go into the high schools, and young girls resent being called bitches when they walk down the hall like this is cool, right? Because these guys want to emulate you all. And
well, my answer on that is that I only call them how I see them. If you come to me like a man, like when you walked in, I said, how you doing? Man. Or you come to me like a sister, I'm going to say, how you doing, sister? But if you come to me another way, I have to speak on that too. I only speak on the women that influence the community, because sex influenced this community, It's why everybody want that Benz, so they can have the girls look. So I have to speak on that, but I also speak about the brothers that influence the community and call them suckers if they act like it, And my philosophy is you throw a rock in a pack of dogs, and the only one hollers the one that got hit.
What does that mean?
That means if you hit by something I say, you're the only one that's hollering. But if you're not hit, you don't holler. So evidently, in my records, they see themselves and they say, wait a minute, that's not right, that's not right. But the ones that don't see themselves say, okay, you ain't talking about me. And if you see yourself in my records, you definitely better check yourself before you wreck yourself.
That's your song?
Definitely.
That's your song.
That's
check yourself before you...
Yes.
Okay, now that's supposed to be a positive rap song, right?
It is a positive rap song.
Okay, why is it positive?
Because you check yourself before you wreck yourself. If you're doing something crazy, you need to check the way you're doing it before you end up behind bars or in the ground. Very positive.
So it's almost a warning. I mean, you're speaking...
Yes, it's almost a warning. And you got to understand that rap music has some... It's a music about boasting and bragging, too, just like the people on the basketball courts, Just like when Clinton bragged that he has his NAFTA agreement getting over. He sits in there with the old boys and brag about that, So we brag about the things that we know, So rap has a little ego in there, too, a little, and it's a little male chauvinist if a male is singing, but a woman will get down and tell the real on the women's side of things. So it has a definite balance.
Would you say it has redeeming value?
Oh, definitely.
But you have heard some that you might not think has some redeeming. I mean, do you defend all rap music?
Well, I defend the right to say it, but I also understand that you can't weigh a comic book like you do a newspaper. You know what I'm saying? But the comic book, just because it's a lot of shooting and killing, that don't mean it shouldn't be printed. But you can't just say, oh, okay, you can't hold that next to a newspaper who has the so-called truth in it about the stories. You can't weigh them together. It's two different denominations of rap music. Just like there's two denominations of Christianity, or a few or several of religions. Everything is not the same.
So you can make distinctions between good stuff
And stuff.
silly stuff,
Yeah,
bad stuff.
definitely.
So like any other musical genre, there's the good and some bad stuff.
There's the good, the bad, the ugly.
What do you think about the efforts to stop playing it on the radio? What?
We didn't never need that. When I first came out, we sold 1 million records before the radio ever even touched us. That to me is not a concern with my form of rap music, if they play it or not. Who really cares? We still got fans out there that'll buy it. Our records have stickers on them that advise children not to buy them. We have two versions. Most of the hardcore groups have two versions. A clean version that you can buy if your kids ain't Ice Cube and you're not with it, or the hardcore version for the people who want the uncut. They got Scarface in the theaters, but they also got a TV, made-for-TV version. Same thing with the rap music. So we've bent over backwards to the concerns of the parents, but they want us to alter our feelings. We get to put our feelings and make them public. A lot of people feel the way we feel, but they just scared to make them public. The youth are not scared.
The other thing is, I was going to say, you've got a baby on the way and 2 young sons.
Yeah.
Do you want them hearing some of this stuff?
I want them to hear everything, because when they walk out my door, they're not sheltered from anything. You can't prepare people for war if you're gonna show them Barney. You know what I'm saying? And when they step out the door, anything goes in this world. So I want them to be exposed to as much things that they're going to be exposed to when they grow up, so it won't shock them, frighten them, and they know how to deal with every situation, good or bad.
What if your little son, I'm playing devil's advocate, what if one of your little sons came up and said to your wife, Mama sucked my... You wouldn't want him talking to your wife like that, would you?
I wouldn't talk to my mother like that.
But if he hears some of this stuff,
well that's the thing. That's where I come in as a parent and monitor what my kids know and make sure my kids understand the definition of these words, because these words are used. They're part of our language. They're used in society every day. They're used from the crack house to the boardroom. They're used. So they're not like words that we made up. We don't come from another planet. We're made in America. We're children of women. We're women's children. So if I make a cake and it don't come out right, do you get mad at the cake or the cake maker? You see what I'm saying? So we don't pop up. We don't pop up. So I have to explain to my kids what certain words mean, when they're appropriate, when they're not appropriate.
You
just
would
like
do
any
that.
other parent, of course. I'm not sitting here using profanity and cussing. It's not the appropriate form. But on my records, I want to be as open, and I do some records without profanity. It's whatever I feel inside.
do you think it's a true art form that is out of the black community?
It's much more than an art form. This is the only way that the kids in L.A. know what's happening with the kids in Houston. And the kids in Houston know what's going on with the kids in New York. This is the only way we can get some kind of unity, because it's uncut and it's raw. And I'm just distributing information. And that's what the problem is. Nobody, the black community, we don't have any methods or any ways to distribute uncut information. You know. And this is one of the ways we can, through rap music.
We talked to someone who told us this is like the ancient troubadours that would go around, and when there weren't printing presses and and in the villages there would be people in balladeers that would come. Do you see it the same kind of way as spreading that kind of?
Oh yeah, we definitely spreading the message. And we will come together. It looks ugly now, but we'll come together as a people when we all know the same information. See, that's how they keep us divided. They stripped us of all our information, and we programmed us with their information, which are half truths and half, false. So we running around. We're like a chicken with our head cut off. The rappers, we believe we have our pulse. We can put their head back on the chicken. We can walk right.
You got all these funny metaphors. And, let me ask you about the influence of white record promoters and record label people. From what I gather, a lot of the white owners of record companies have said, make it harder, make it nastier, make it dirtier, that they're encouraging that kind of thing because they think that will sell even more. And we're kind of excited that Snoop Doggy Dogg got into the trouble because, wow, that's going to boost record sales. What white hand is at play in this stuff?
As far as Ice Cube's concerned, a white hand is never in play with anything that comes out of my mouth. I can't speak for other artists because I'm not in there on those meetings. I'm not saying it don't happen because I believe that it do. And if that's happening, if an artist is influenced by the record companies to say what he really don't feel, then he's definitely a fool for putting out material that he doesn't feel and he has to go take the heat for. But I don't allow the record company to come to the studio when I'm in the studio, and I don't allow them to tell me what I can or can't put on the record. When I hand them a record, that's what they better put out, because the day they don't put that out is the day Ice Cube will go completely off. With my lawyers coming in and going after them.
Okay, so you really present them, but you're big enough to do that. What about somebody
When I was small, I did it.
Huh?
When I wasn't quote unquote big, when I was just an artist coming up, I wouldn't let them dictate to me what kind of records to put out.
Who's making the most money in this stuff?
Well,
are the artists making the money?
Oh, of course not. But we doing this interview. You're not making the most money out of this interview. ABC is, So everybody, unless you're on your own business, unless you're on your own distributing, unless you're on your own trucking, unless you're on your own retail stores, you're never gonna make the most money. But see, what I got to give is deeper than money. See, they make money off of it,
But doesn't that upset you that whites are profiting off the bad experiences of the black community?
We distribute information. So they might make the paper dollar, which in 1993 ain't worth too much. But I get the mental money. I get to spread what I think to other black kids. And when we get that unity, we can make tons of money. When we have that unity where I trust this black man and he trusts me, and we can pool our dollars, and we can be an economic strength. So they make the money for now. That's all right, But
you got the mental money.
I got the minds. I'd rather have the minds than the money.
What about the issue of whether violence is increased by what these kids see in the videos and the guns and the stuff like that? Are you thinking this is having any impact? Don't you think that a kid listening to a radio station that is talking about zooming in the boom boom all day long and shaking butts, and isn't that going to put sex on the minds of kids that may not otherwise, or don't let anybody diss you and they're thinking, I gotta go take care of this person?
Well, see, all rap music is not about that. You've just taken a section of it. Just like all movies aren't pornos. It's just a section of the movie. And all movies aren't rated R. So you're just taking a portion and exposing that. The kids of America is violent because America is violent. She deals with her problems with the gun. So how you expect the kids of America not to do the same thing? There's violence in South Africa and in other places in Africa because of the gun. Rap music ain't got nothing to do with that. So they invented the gun. and they've made them very accessible in our community, easy to get to. You know, why is nobody at the Rifle Association talking to them about the guns in our community? No, see, you want to come to the bottom of the barrel. Even if we stop doing the music today, wouldn't nothing change, because we still have these forces. We still have poverty, we still have frustration, we still have weapons. And there you have it.
It's true. It's true. And you're right. People lump all rap music together. I'm as guilty of it as everybody else. Mm-hmm. And thank you for correcting me on that.
No problem. No problem.
I want to get you out of here at 6:28. I promised you would.
One thing. I think this is great. Just quickly, because you sort of said this overall, what is the message? What does it reflect? Just so we can have that.
You want me to ask that question again?
In several different questions.
Okay, one more question.
Okay. What does it mirror?
Okay. You rolling, Min?
I'm still on.
Okay. So, again, what is rap music all about? What are you trying to communicate? What message are you trying to send?
We're just like a poet, or just like any other person. We distribute information. We give a piece of ourselves and make it public. We talk about the things that hurt, and just like the comedian who could laugh about a bad thing, if he didn't laugh, he would cry. If we didn't rap, about the things that hurt us, we would bring them out in other ways, that are not productive, But the thing with the allegations with the rappers, everybody, they're not sheltered from society just because they're a rapper. Just like presidents are. Presidents fall by the wayside too. You know what I'm saying? So, you ain't gonna clump all presidents together and say, well, let's not elect no presidents because of Nixon. You know what I'm saying? So, with rappers, you shouldn't condemn all rappers because a few of our brothers got in trouble, and we will deal with that. We'll handle that, and we'll learn from it, and we'll grow as an industry, and as a family. So what we're just trying to do is be heard.
Do you think you'll ever be too old to rap? Do you think you'll be rapping when you're 35? Is this a youth culture thing, or
no? It's who's ever on point. Who's ever on point will always have an avenue. Who's ever giving you the real deal. Some of the members of Public Enemy are well into their 30s. So, it doesn't have an age limit, just like nothing does in life, If I can learn from you, you definitely can learn from me.
I'm learning from you.
Thank you.
We've learned a lot in 2 days.
We really have.
Is that right?
Because I hated it, okay?
Is that right?
I have a 13-year-old son. I hated it.
But you got to tune in because he.
Yes, but some of the stuff is so nasty. I don't want him.
Come on, when you was 13, your mother said, "Of course, as long as this is not. What is this going to be? 3 seconds."
Yes, but it's going to be good. It's going to be the best.
Okay, all right, it'll be the best 3 seconds.
But it was important for me to get in a name person.
Yes.
We talked to some young rappers last night. Somebody's beeping it.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to go.
No, call. That's Melissa. Half Kim.
So, as I said, I really appreciate your doing this because I'm kind of scared of you.
Why?
You scare me.
Why is that?
Because you're menacing.
I'm your young brother. How I scare you?
I know I love you, my young brother, but when I see you in them videos and stuff, you scare me.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you do.
Does
Al Pacino scare me? Yes.
Al Pacino chick, he scares you?
Yeah.
What about Robert De Niro?